Fyodor Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground is a seminal work of existentialist literature that explores the depths of human alienation, irrationality, and the struggle against societal norms. The narrative is divided into two parts: Underground, a philosophical monologue, and Apropos of the Wet Snow, a series of autobiographical anecdotes. The first part, Underground, introduces the unnamed narrator, a retired civil servant living in 1860s St. Petersburg. He is bitter, isolated, and profoundly self-aware. He has retreated into a metaphorical underground, a state of intellectual and emotional withdrawal from society. He launches into a scathing critique of the prevailing rationalist and utopian philosophies of the time, which he sees as simplistic and dehumanizing. The underground man rejects the idea of a perfectly ordered, predictable world governed by reason and self-interest. He argues that human beings are fundamentally irrational creatures driven by desires and impulses that defy logical explanations. He mocks the concept of enlightened self-interest, claiming that humans often act against their own best interests to assert their free will and individuality. He particularly despises the idea of a utopian society based on scientific principles, where human behavior is predictable and controlled. He believes that such a society would stifle human freedom and creativity, reducing individuals to mere cogs in a machine. He extols the virtues of suffering and irrationality, arguing that they are essential aspects of the human experience. The underground man revels in his contradictions and self-destructive tendencies. He is acutely aware of his pettiness, spitefulness, and inability to act decisively. He takes pleasure in his suffering, seeing it as a form of rebellion against society's constraints. He is a master of self-deprecation, constantly dissecting his motives and exposing his weaknesses. The second part, Apropos of the Wet Snow, provides concrete examples of the underground man's alienation and self-destructive behavior. It consists of a series of episodes from his past, each illustrating his inability to connect with others and his propensity for self-humiliation. One episode recounts his attempt to assert himself among a group of former schoolmates. He is invited to a farewell dinner for a former classmate, Zverkov, a successful and popular officer. The underground man, feeling inferior and resentful, arrives uninvited and proceeds to make a fool of himself. He tries to engage in witty banter but comes across as awkward and pathetic. He insults Zverkov and his friends, only to be ignored and ridiculed. Another episode describes his encounter with Liza, a young prostitute. He finds her in a brothel, where he delivers a passionate and manipulative speech about the horrors of her situation and the possibility of redemption. He appeals to her sense of pity and offers her a glimmer of hope. However, when Liza comes to his apartment seeking his help, he treats her with cruelty and contempt, revealing his own deep-seated insecurity and inability to offer genuine compassion. These anecdotes highlight the underground man's inability to escape his own self-imposed isolation. He is trapped in a cycle of self-loathing and resentment, unable to break free from his destructive patterns. He is a prisoner of his own consciousness, constantly analyzing and criticizing himself and others. The novel concludes with the underground man acknowledging the futility of his existence. He admits that he is writing his notes not for any specific purpose but to vent his spleen and express his dissatisfaction with the world. He recognizes that his words are unlikely to have any impact, but he continues to write, driven by an inner compulsion to articulate his thoughts and feelings. Commentary. Notes from Underground is a profound and disturbing exploration of human psychology. Dostoevsky's portrayal of the underground man, a profoundly alienated and self-destructive individual, challenges conventional notions of rationality and morality. The novel's strength lies in its unflinching examination of the dark side of human nature, its exploration of the complexities of free will, and its critique of utopian ideologies. The book serves as an influential precursor to existentialist thought, and its themes of alienation, irrationality, and the search for meaning continue to resonate with readers today. It is a vital and challenging work that forces us to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world around us.